Okay, so you've spent all this time upgrading to Angular 22, but you have a problem with test. You told it to use ViTest, but somehow it didn't configure it correctly. Let's talk about how to fix this. To begin with, we see that JS DOM is missing, or Happy DOM. We're going to use JS DOM. Let's get that installed. We're going to begin by running npm install save dev JS DOM. This should install that part of it. Let's see what needs to be done next. Now, as we look through, we see that Karma is still installed here. I thought we got rid of all that, but nope, it's still there. So we need to remove all of Karma. And let's see, what else? Istanbul Live Instrument we don't need. Jasmine we don't need. Let's get rid of these things. We're going to go down here, uninstall, and we're going to go Karma, Jasmine, types Jasmine, Jasmine core, and Chrome Launcher, ML Reporter, and that should be all we need to do at this point. All right, let's double check. I see Karma still there. I do a force on this to see if that fixes it. I'm still seeing Jasmine in there. I don't want Jasmine. Let's go check Angular JSON. Do we have anything in here that's Jasmine? No Jasmine, no Karma. That's good. I'll make sure I'm typing this right because that could be the problem too. Gonna try those. Okay, did get rid of the one npm uninstall Karma Jasmine. See if that worked. Okay, one more. Karma Chrome Launcher. Now Karma. So I want to get rid of all the Karma components. And anything Jasmine. So I still have a couple here I need to remove. Okay, Karma got removed. Okay, let's see if that, okay, that was removed. Uninstall npm uninstall. Okay, that got rid of that. Install, make sure. Okay, so now we should have everything out. One other thing I noticed is we have zone still. I don't want zone. I want to get rid of zone completely. And I will show you how to figure out how to get rid of that. So we get rid of all this. Let's see if our tests run. This is looking promising. Okay, we have tests that used to pass but now are failing, and these are tests where I'm checking. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, all right, let me show you how I would test. So we're going to switch to the web. Now this is Chrome browser. Up here I'm going to ask Gemini, which is an AI, and here I'm going to type in Angular 22 ViTest, right, test 4 dash. So what I'm doing is I'm giving my command is Angular 22 ViTest dash write test dash or 4 and then dash, and now I'm going to go over the code. I'm going to copy the code for that particular test. Copy this right here, and I'm going to paste that right here. You can't see me because I got the camera on. Let me turn that off. All right, so I've got Angular 22 VTest write test 4, and I'm going to paste in the component, and let's see what it comes back with. All right, telling it Angular 22 ViTest write test for that. So that should be accurate. Testing. So I'm going to copy this just to see what happens. We're going to go back over to the code here, and we're going to highlight all of that. We're going to paste in that I'm still getting errors from core testing. Now I do know, go back to the web or expect getting errors for expect. Let's see what it tells me to do. Look at this. Add this line here. Let's go back to the code. I'm adding that line. Still getting before each. I'm curious. Let's see if we put before each up in here. Will that work? Yes, it does. All right. So since I'm using ViTest, I'm most likely going to have to modify all of my tests to include this. Otherwise, they're going to have errors. But they seem to run anyway. It's just my editor doesn't recognize it. Okay, so now I've got 21 tests that are passing. Let's go and look at some of these others. So here I have that same error. I want this line right here. Copy that, paste that in there. The errors go away. Errors go away there. So you see what I'm doing here is I've fixed it in the one, but I've noticed that it's failing or not failing, it's giving errors in all the others. Even though the tests are passing, this is not a good thing. You want to have your code clean. You don't want junky code. Angular core testing is where that comes from. VI testing, all these. All right. Let's finish cleaning up the test here. So even though my tests are passing, my editor doesn't see this, and it's because there's a missing import. And so I'm adding that import in there. Okay, that one's already there. And all my tests pass. So I'm going to push this for now. And I'm going to commit that. All right, so that got pushed. And the next thing we want to do is we want to get rid of, if we go back and we look at our Angular JSON, we still have, so testing seems to be okay. I have zone and I don't want zone. So let's go and ask how we would get rid of this. So I'm going to clear. This is where I start with a new prompt, and Angular 22. How to remove zone completely from the project, Angular 22. All right. Configure zoneless change detection. That's the first thing we've got to do. So we have a provider here that we have to add. So I'm just going to copy that. And this is should be in our app config. Let's go look for our app config. Here's our app config. And here, providers. Okay. Let's see what. So we have, I don't want to just remove this. I want to find out where it says provide change detection, event coalescing is set to true. Go back and look at the web here. Don't see anything here. So it says to remove it. Let's do the other stuff first before we ask a question on that. All right. All right. So remove zone.js from polyfills. Let's go back to the code. This is in here. So we don't need polyfills at all. So we can just remove that. Okay. Got rid of that. Let's go look at the next step. So we remove that. We need to make sure that, okay, let's search the project and we're going to look for zone. That's the easiest thing. So app config package. We have zone in there. We've got to remove that. So let's uninstall zone. We're going to go down here, uninstall zone package just so that we can see that it's there at the moment. Uninstalling zone. Oh, I probably should have said JS. Okay, got rid of that. Now let's check for zone in our whole project. Still showing it in there. We need to do an npm PMI just to update everything. So package log still is showing zone in there. So let's do this. We're going to delete package lock. We're going to run npm install again, which will recreate package lock. And we want to recreate package lock in this case to get rid of any junk that might be just left over in there. Let's check again. Package lock is still showing zone. So somewhere zone is trying to hang around. All right. Just check in here to see if zone is in here. Nope, zone's not there. Don't know why it's still showing up. Let's go back and look at the web here. All right, so this is a very basic project. I don't expect a whole lot. Now, keeping this up, I'm going to go back and ask about this. Now, I'm just saying, because it already knows I'm Angular 22, it knows all this. So all I'm doing is adding to it. I haven't, so if I click on the thing up here to say a new tab, or then I'm going to put this in quotes. So new tab is not showing up. So I'm asking if that should be yes. It says yes. All right. So we are going to provide zone detection, which means we've got to clean up all that. All right. So now we should be able to run all tests and they should be clean. Now we want to make sure that the application still runs. So we're going to run it here at the start. All right. And let's go look at the web, and it is working. So it's a very simple application, and the application has been migrated to Angular 22. Zone has been removed, and the test have been fixed. So I hope this helps. I'm going to do another video on how to create your Angular test for ViTest using the AI in Chrome. I hope this helps.